Vicissitude is the trademark discipline of one of the most feared clans in Vampire the Masquerade. They're also the most gruesome, and it's because of their abilities when it comes to this discipline. The body, the flesh becomes canvas. Bone can be transformed into something more than what it once was. And unfortunately for anyone who becomes involved with the Tzimisce Vicissitude ritual, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they don't necessarily conform to your traditional beauty standards. The Tzimisce tend to use vicissitude on themselves, not exclusively, but most of the time. They will alter their bodies with how they are feeling, with their general mood. And poor is the soul who becomes a target of the Tzimisce's ire. Some might argue that vicissitude is similar to that of the Protean discipline, except for the power source comes from a much darker place. Whereas Protean allows Cainites and Vampire Society to emulate God's creation, God's creatures, vicissitude instead twists the host or the target into something not meant for its original purpose. Vicissitude is instead a defamation for God's creation. Some Tzimisce treat their vicissitude practice as a ritual, one that can be incredibly sensual to the Tzimisce performing the act, as vicissitude requires physical touch in order to be able to create from your imagination, however dark that may be. All vampires know that any skin-to-skin contact with the Tzimisce can be a death sentence for you, especially for the servants of the Tzimisce. They often deform their servants, those who would be beneath them, so that they are constantly aware of their status. While the nature and origins of vicissitude have been shrouded in mystery, some believe that it is a virus created by Tzimisce himself. Some believe that it is a reincarnation of Tzimisce. It is his presence. But vicissitude isn't all sunshine, fluffy bunnies, and rainbows. Those who are further along the path of this discipline, those advanced users, often find that their body changes on its own, normally in response to something that has changed in their environment. If a Tzimisce feels threatened, maybe they will grow themselves claws, or maybe their bones will start to spike out of their skin in a protective fashion. When it comes to powers, abilities, and skills, those most talented among us will be at a range of 5 dots. For a mere human, this represents a lifetime of practice, the pinnacle of their achievement, training, research, whatever it may be. And then there are those who may have a mere passing ability, a small aptitude for one particular skill, and this would be representative of a single dot in your skill or ability. Now, powers and disciplines, they can go all the way up to 10 points. This would represent godlike power, godlike mastery over one particular discipline, a skill, something that no mere mortal could achieve. Why do I tell you this? Because it's important to understand the scale of these abilities. We're going to start off with what a Tzimisce can do in their standard power array, your general 1 to 5 dots, and then we will move on to some of the more advanced and powerful things vicissitude can accomplish. Also bear in mind that 5th edition of Vampire has changed a lot of this. I will try and indicate what is a 5th edition amalgam. At 1 dot, a Tzimisce is able to use Malleable Visage. They can change simple things about their body, a slight height adjustment, change their skin color. They can make their voice go higher or lower, and they can also adjust subtle facial features. At 2 dots, the practitioner is able to change their muscle mass. They can build it up. They can weaken it to change their physical structure. They can adjust their body fat on the fly. They can even make changes to cartilage, making it thicker, thinner in some places, or adding it where it really shouldn't be. At 3 points, bonecraft becomes an option for the Tzimisce. They are able to change the density of bone, change the shape of bone. By this point, a Tzimisce can turn you into any kind of monstrosity that they can imagine. Now, when you get to 4 points of vicissitude, the Tzimisce is able to transform into a war form. This form is called Zulo, It is believed to have been Tzimisce's chosen or preferred look when he went into battle. Zulo is a monstrosity. Its form, its body, is covered in chitin, usually formed from bone, that of whatever's nearby, or altering the Tzimisce's physical appearance. And it also comes complete with spurs, spikes, horns. It is also believed that those at this stage are taking their first steps to their perfect and true form, and this belief is tied to Khuldunism. Now, at 5 points in vicissitude, the vampire is able to liquefy themselves. They can transform into a sentient pool of blood. This is called blood form, inner mastery. This allows the practitioner of vicissitude to adjust the body processes. They can speed up or slow down metabolism. They can adjust mental attributes. They have even been known to give derangements, especially when you are this skilled at manipulating the body. The body Impolitic is an ability that allows the Tzimisce to drop off a piece of their body or have it willfully severed. The body part still maintains the will of its host, and it will go out and do its bidding on its own. And when it returns, it can of course be reattached to the host body. Now we start getting into some of the craziness, the advanced powers of vicissitude. At 6 dots, you can start to use these abilities. Body Arsenal. You can transform your body, parts of your body, into physical weapons. Blood of Acid will permanently change your vitae to be corrosive to anyone who drinks it. Chiropteran Marauder allows you to change into a giant winged bat. And yes, that bat can fly. Ecstatic Agony allows you to change pain into something that's more pleasurable for you. Entrail Cereband allows you to use your intestines as tentacles to grab things, to hurt things. It's not a very pleasant sounding ability, but you can use it. At 6 points, you can also start to use Graft Life to life. This allows you to create abominations out of multiple people, multiple sources, without those adjoining pieces becoming completely useless. Living Testudo. You can turn a living being into a human shield, a literal human shield. Plasmic Form is an upgrade to your blood form ability, and it allows you to take a shape. It allows you to move as a liquid and maintain a solid shape. And if you needed a hammock to have a rest in, or a net because you're fishing for some reason, Skin Trap will allow you to fashion something like this out of the skin of another being. At 7 dots, you are able to cocoon yourself with a hard protective shell. Flesh Rot. You literally give someone a disease that eats their flesh away. Impaler's Fence is pretty disgusting. You basically turn the victim's spine into a buzzsaw or a hacksaw. It moves up and down in their body, and the outcome is unpleasant. I have had many lovers. I have seen many heads chopped off and put into little baskets. I have fought the bourgeoisie, but this is disgusting. Kraken's Kiss. This allows your face to turn into tendrils that can suck the blood out of a victim. Transcend the Flesh. This allows you to expel things from your body that shouldn't be there. If you've ingested poison, you can just make it leave. If you've been shot, just push the bullet out. You can even make yourself pass through solid walls with this ability. And with Liquefy the Mortal Coil, you can change your victim's body parts to just explode into blood. At 8 points in vicissitude, you are able to reduce the size of your body. You can go from a full 6'2" vampire to a small Christmas bauble. And while bauble is a fun word to say, it is also the name of this ability. And Breath of the Dragon allows you to breathe fire from your mouth like a dragon. Will over Form allows an advanced practitioner of vicissitude to use it from a distance. Sublimation of the larval flesh. This allows a practitioner to cocoon their victim, to cocoon their creation, and in this cocoon they will morph, they will change, they will become something new. Oathbreaker allows you to change your blood into something that can form a temporary blood bond. And with Blood of the Earth, the blood coursing through the veins of the Tzimisce, the practitioner of vicissitude, it thickens and when it is exposed to air, it will ignite into flame. At 9 points of vicissitude, Doppelganger allows you to assume any shape. I would have assumed that you could do this already, but that's what the ability says. Earth's Vast Haven. This allows you to dissolve into the earth and become one with it. This is something Tzimisce tried to do. He was successful in his ability to bond with the earth. However, it didn't quite work in the way he wanted it to. Perfect Essence allows you to control your vitae more efficiently. This means that a vampire does not need to feed as often. They can use their vitae more effectively for their general processes. The Last Dracula. This ability allows the practitioner of vicissitude to assume the shape of a dragon, complete with fire breath weapon and blood that turns to fire when it is exposed to air. At 10 ranks of vicissitude, you are essentially a master of all things to do with flesh, bone, bodies. You will have achieved the pinnacle of vicissitude and its abilities. Thus, you are able to gain mastery over your own body, and if you die, you can be reincarnated. This happens through recreating your body after you have died. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the founder of this discipline, click on this video on your screen now. Thank you to all of my patrons for supporting me and for voting on the topic of this video. My name's Nathaniel. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.